Evening, and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I am your host, the one and only Talent Taylor. Wait, hold on, let's switch it up. I am the one and only Talent El Ídolo Deportivo Taylor. It is another En Fuego day in the hottest city in the world. We are coming at you live and direct from South Florida. Yes, folks, I am officially checking in from whatever scattered rain shower that we currently have right now. It is September 26th. It is 8:43 at night. Hold on one second. Had to clear my throat. Oh, so have mercy with your boy. Oh, you know what? We almost forgot them. Let's get Twitter up in the business. Let's get Twitter up in the house, folks. And don't you guys forget that you can listen to the MyT Sports Podcast basically everywhere. You can hear it and watch it on Twitter. You can watch it on Instagram. You can watch us live on Facebook. You can watch us live on YouTube. You can rewatch us and listen on YouTube as well. You can watch us live on Twitch, rewatch on Twitch. Wherever you listen to your podcast at, right? Whether that's Amazon Music, that's Apple Podcast, that's Google Podcast, that's Podbean, that's Spotify, it's TuneIn, it's Pandora. It don't matter. Wherever you listen to your podcast at, your boy is there. So listen, if you're listening right now, take a time out, please. Do me a favor. I'm asking you, right, nicely, right? I'm coming down to the calm voice. Normally, like this is the early morning voice. I'm giving you the late night voice. This is the calm voice. This is the calm storm that you guys really don't even know about. Please go ahead and like, share, and more importantly, subscribe. Right, subscribe, please. And that way, more important, right? The reason why you subscribe is so that you can hear that little bing bong every time the show goes on. Or every time a new show goes up, more than anything else, if you're not on one of the live platforms. So get yourself over to one of the live platforms. Like I said, we got YouTube, we got Twitch. Who else is live? Facebook Live. Also, we're on them all. So you guys make sure that you come through. And advertisers. Let's let you guys know that this could be your product right here. Talking on the MyT Sports Podcast. Folks, we got a big show coming up for you guys, folks. This is Volume 8, Episode 8, Track 462 of the MyT Sports Podcast. Listen, we're gonna get into FINS being up. We have Knicks Media Day. Can you believe that? I'm actually talking about Media Day already, folks. Of course, you know we're gonna talk about Brittany Griner a little bit. We cannot forget about her. We have an announcement about the Super Bowl performer, right? We got our birthday party. Actually, I lie. There is no birthday party today, folks. None at all. We're gonna get into NBA Media Day, period. Floyd Mayweather is still out here fighting. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, right? Please make sure you guys go out and vote. Also, we got some Pro Bowl news for you guys as well. Folks, we have all that and more on the 462nd episode of the MyT Sports Podcast. But you know what we say here on the show, regardless of the time and regardless of the weather, it doesn't matter if it's a hurricane going outside. Come on, coach.
You play to win the game. Hello?
It's always a blast on the MyT Sports Podcast. Whew, man, oh man. We back at it like a sports fanatic. El Ídolo. MyT Sports. You guys ready? I know what you guys were like. Whoa, what happened to the birthday party? No birthdays today. I had a podcast yesterday on Sunday. So we covered everything from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But you know what? To give these guys a little recap, since we're a little bit out of order, we can at least give the birthday that happened yesterday, right? Was it yesterday? At least over the weekend, right? Let's forget Friday. Let's handle the weekend like we normally handle the weekend. And that's really only so that I can also give another birthday shout out to my little cousin, like Shamika Rose. Right? I want to say happy birthday to you, little cuz. Yo, pop the birthday people back up. Right? That's everybody that had a birthday over the weekend. Let's give them one quick birthday shout out, right? Listen. Yeah, let's give them one quick birthday shout out because it's just a must. I feel like we can't start the podcast properly unless we start off with the birthday party, because after the party it's the hotel lobby, and after the lobby then it's probably this, and R. Kelly's no longer this. Hey yo, she's taking a siesta in the jailesta, but you better guard your ancestor. Give me that birthday song so I can stop making an ancestor of myself. There we go. I like that. You like? Ooh, I see food. Ready? Let's go. Yeah, it's your birthday. We said it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's because it's your birthday. We sing happy birthday. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. All right, over the weekend, we had a couple of birthdays. We had actually really just one special birthday. But I'm gonna give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's go ahead and give a shout out to Tony Miller, shout out to Lauren Beck, right? But also more importantly, right? Over the I thought he had something on this. Oh Glare. I want to give a special birthday shout out again to my little cousin Shamika Rose. Happy birthday to you all. Hope you guys party hard because it was the weekend. Hope you enjoyed everything, regret nothing, and more importantly, you get your weekend at Bernie's Zone and you continue to stay in MyT. All right, cut it. Let's go into our first topic of the day, because I don't know if you guys may have heard in the beginning of the show, but we're coming at you live and direct from South Florida, and South Florida was going crazy. When we said we was talking about, they were going crazy last night. Yesterday was a big game. The whole entire city, all day, all night. Oh baby. Let's get into our first topic of the day. First of all, things first. Bills Mafia may have showed up, but it was the Dolphins players that showed out. In another, I want to say brilliant, in another gutsy. Let's call. I think that's the right word for it, right? In another gutsy game, and in another close game for the Miami Dolphins, Tua got a tongue twister, and Tua's about to maybe start putting some respect on his name pretty soon, right? But Tua got a tongue twister, pulled off another, not just a comeback victory, but another close victory, another late victory, but also it's a comeback victory in the ways that I don't think we were sure that Tua was going to play in this game, folks. But like I said, folks, before we get into the game, let's just talk about the fandom for a second. The fandom that was Bills Mafia, folks. And let you guys know that the phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. And folks, to call into the show, listen, the link is in the bio. I got a little Linktree link in there, right? You see that? You see that little sucker? You follow that Linktree link. And that Linktree link, you're going to see a little thing that says, call into the show here. Download the Podbean app, right? Click on the Mighty Sports Podcast. Bada bing, bada boom. And you get into the room, and now you're able to call into the show. I know you heard it in your head. So if you want to call the show, call in, because Dolphins fans, I want to hear from you. I was out and about. I met up with you guys. I saw you guys after. I wasn't at the game, right? But I met up with a ton of fans. I saw you guys after the game. You guys were lit. Couldn't even, we're talking about, 1 eye open kind of lit. Hey, yo. Kind of, you know what I mean? I just caught a stroke kind of lit. That's how their face was looking, because they were so lit. And also, they were hype. And I could understand it. I could understand it. Could you imagine, right? When the season started, how many people had the Dolphins at 3-0, had the Eagles at 3-0, maybe the Eagles, maybe, but also had the Giants undefeated so far. They're playing their third game right now against their rival, the Dallas Cowboys, and you see Saquon just running forward, following behind his blockers, following behind his line. And you know what? You see it, right? You see it early as we talk a little bit about Monday night's game right now. We have Dallas versus the Dallas versus New York, the Cowboys versus the Giants, right? And they're in MetLife Stadium. They're in JetBlue Arena. That's what I like to call it, JetBlue Arena. Right, so they're in Jet, which I don't understand why JetBlue has not become the forever sponsor of. As long as they share a stadium, I don't know why JetBlue is not the official sponsor of that stadium. Like, it makes no sense to me. But let's forget about this, right, for half a second. You see Saquon running real well again, right? Another game where he's using his athleticism. He's using his fast twitchiness, right? And he's running forward, and first making sure he always gets forward or gets positive yardage. But also, more importantly, not dancing so much that even going forward he doesn't lose yardage. He's using it to fake out defenders more than anything. I was like, oh, I'm going there. Stutter. Oh, I'm going. Al Bundy on these holes. So it's interesting to see if he could keep if Saquon Barkley. I just got a text message from Donald Trump Jr. Why? Because you should follow everybody, so you could always see what everybody says, whether you like them or not. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on 1 second. The camera got me feeling like DMC over there. Nah. Sorry, B. I know you just had a tragic injury. Like, I hope everything works out for you, and nothing continues to go wrong. But also part of the reason why your name pops up in my mind, right, is because I'm gonna need you here on the podcast. Like, I already called out the champ. I ain't heard back from him yet. I'm gonna have to hit him in his DMs. Like listen, it's gonna be all professional. Damn, Daniel Jones, man, I swear. Do we have the drop for him? Do we have the drop loaded up for Daniel Jones today? We do. Let's make sure we get that ready, because at his first mistake, right? And I should have given this to him every time he was sacked so far, right? But we gonna we gonna give him the benefit of the doubt until he officially turns over the ball. And then we'll get into him for every play after that. Listen, as long as he ain't turning over the ball anymore, who cares? The Giants just kicked the field goal. This game is now tied 3-3. I like what's happening here, but let's move forward, right? Let's continue to move forward, and let's move forward directly into let's get right back into these Dolphins game, right? Because they were here, and they were here big time, right? Like they were here and they were here big time. When I say big time, like they showed up, in a way that was unexpected. And what I was saying before I got a little distracted is that, can you imagine, right? Nobody could imagine before the season started, because you didn't hear one person say the Dolphins are going to be 3-0. Nobody imagined that maybe Philadelphia Eagles, but nobody thought that the Giants was going to be 2-0. Like some teams have really started off really hot, and some teams have started off in a slump. Again, this is that turnaround that the NFL always has, right? Where you always hear them say there's about 6 teams or so on average, right? Or 6 new teams to make the playoffs, which means that there are 6 teams that made the playoffs last year that are going to fall short. Now, as interesting as it is to see what teams fall short, it's even more interesting to see which teams actually make it in there. You see the Giants making an early push, right? You see the Dolphins making an early push. Philadelphia Eagles, I think everybody expected them to be there. You see the Jaguars making an early push. Early. Early. We're still in like the first quarter of the season. Is it still the first quarter of the season? The first 4 games since they added one more game. I mean, it's not really that. I mean, where we at now? 17 games, 18 games, to 17 games. Yes, I guess you know what. Let's wait until after 5 games, right? And everything else we'll judge by fours. Is that how should we do it? Or maybe we don't count the last week. Nah, we gotta count it by fours, and then the last week we just won't count. We'll treat it like fantasy football. Like that week we're not even gonna play. Like, like you welcome you happy, Lewis? Are you happy? You happy? Like we got it down to we got that last week out of there. We put it up for a vote. It ain't my fault that the knucklehead people that we're in the league with don't know how to. I'm talking shit about all of you guys. They don't know how to cast a vote on a fantasy. I think some of them couldn't even see it. I'm talking shit. I'm talking straight cash shit. But it's okay though. It's okay. That's what we do here on the Mighty Sports Podcast. That's why it's always a blast. I'll be blasting people for no reason at all. I keep telling you guys, all I do is speak in double entendres. Well, ooh. So the Cowboys just got a nice little kick return, but he almost fumbled that ball. I think they're real lucky these days, right? That the ruling has come out that the ground can't cause a fumble anymore, right? Because the way that a lot of fumbles that we see today would have been called fumbles 10 years ago. So it's going to be even more impressive now to me, I guess. When, oh my God, he just broke one. HolyShift.com. Scott Pollard. Hope that's his name. First name is Scott. I wanted to draft him too. Did I draft him and he's on my bench? I think he was probably on my watch list. Pollard just broke. I don't know how long that was, but 46-yarder. I saw the closed captions. Jesus. That was a hell of a hole. And he broke through there and he was like, you know what? These first couple of strokes, I'm not even going to take slowly. We're going to make this fast and hard. I don't know what's wrong with me. Why is everything a sexual innuendo with me? It's sexual innuendos and double entendres, triple entendres all over the place. Let's see how the Giants' goal line stances or red zone defense ends up being. Because if they can hold them to a field goal after they just exploded for a 46-yard, damn near a 50-yard run, then that should hopefully be some motivation for the that should be some motivation for the defense, hopefully for the offense to try to come out and punch a touchdown in, and also for the defense to continue to stay strong. We're gonna talk about these Giants a little bit later, right? Because these early wins is doing a lot, right? Not that it's Giants, right? Giants, Jets, right? Eagles, Jaguars, like these early wins is really doing a hell of a lot. Oh, damn. That was definitely pass interference. They completely missed one on that one. That is, oh man. They completely missed a pass interference call on 3rd and 3. And we'll talk about a pass interference that would have put them on the goal line, and then you know what would have happened then. He would have started eating that up like it was Pac-Man power pellets. This game yesterday, the Dolphins versus Bills game. That was my go hard or go home game of the week. Like it really was. Like for the simple fact that I saw, like, you hear the stories of how Bills Mafia travels. We witnessed it down here. We're talking about, and I know you guys have seen it too. I'm listen. You guys saw the pictures, right, or the video. It still didn't do it any justice. Let's get into that. Hit me one time.
Go hard. So check right now. Go home.
Dolphins versus Bills was our go hard or go home game of the week. It really was, right? For the simple fact that I was because I did the podcast late, right? Before we did the podcast, I literally got to see how Bills Mafia traveled down here. So it was a literal go hard or go home scenario. They flooded Fort Lauderdale Beach. Flooded. We're talking about, I've never seen so many soggy animal crackers in my life. And this wasn't an easy game. Dolphins fans, like, they were nervous. Like they were nervous. And they really, so they should have been. First quarter, if I'm not mistaken, it was a bad. I don't know if I'm mistaken, the Jets game or the Dolphins game, but I feel like in the first quarter there was a bad touchdown call, or touchdown no call, where they decided to not call the touchdown, right, instead of just reviewing it. And can I tell you something? To me, that's just complete laziness, right, on the referee staff. If you think it's close, call it. Call it a touchdown, and then have the, well, I guess either way. You know what? Never mind. Well, actually, no. Call the touchdown so that you can review it. Because if you don't call it a touchdown, then you can't review it. But instead, they don't call it a touchdown. They force the offense to, like, yo, you want this touchdown, to go use a review. It's like they're purposefully, right, not doing their job. Or they are purposely told to not do their job properly, to add a layer of suspense, intrigue, and decision-making to the game. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason, right? Like, I don't know about yous, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's real. You guys start letting me know, right? Let me get these comments in here. If you can't call it, let me know. What you start bringing these comments. Anywhere you're at, you can comment, and I'll see it. Right, we'll even pop your comment up on the screen if you want. Listen, all you gotta do is give me an orange and blue heart, right? You give me an orange and blue heart at the end or beginning of your comment, and that lets me know that you want your comment shared with the world, and I'll make sure that comment pops up on air as well. As long as it's appropriate, right? Can't be out here just spewing all kinds of talentisms. Like, there's only one talent. He's the host of the show. Like, like I'm the one that gets bestowed all these special privileges. I don't understand this new trend, and I'm gonna continue to watch. I'm gonna continue to watch for weeks now to see if it's something that is a continued trend, that they're purposefully not calling touchdowns. Now, they also could be doing it to speed up the game, because if they don't have to review everything that looks like a touchdown, right, to slow it down, look at it, review, then they don't have to worry about the game being paused for too long. Which, again, see, it always comes full circle. Instagram people, you're gonna lose me, because I'm gonna do something for Twitter. Not Twitter. I'm gonna do something for the TikTok, right? Oh, I'm about to say, what the hell is ringing? Wait, let's do something for the. Really? They don't have no better timers than this. We're gonna see what we can do here, right? What happened to the? You can get the whole 180 seconds. They cut that out. Or have I been banned for some reason? Have they been provoking some of my privileges? You know, I'm trying to get live. I'm trying to get live status on here. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes. There it goes. That's what I'm looking for. Alrighty. So, back with the Mighty Sports Podcast, and we're bringing TikTok in here with us. It all comes full circle because I feel like the NFL is purposefully making referees not call touchdowns so that the referees don't have to review it. And maybe just so they can keep the game sped up. But you wouldn't have to worry about that if you adopted my philosophy that have been given to you for free. NBA too. No review should be longer than a play clock. None of it. NBA, boxing, breaks in between, football. The best example I can give you guys is football, NFL. That 35 seconds that they get, that 30 seconds on the 24-second shot clock, reviews should not take longer than a play clock. And then what you do with that play clock, you put that in a picture-in-picture, and you run an advertisement with a little picture-in-picture. So you're also not even going anywhere. You have advertisers pay for that moment, right? It's gonna be about 30 seconds anyway. 20 to 30 seconds. That's perfect for a little quick commercial, isn't it? Right? And also by the time they come back, it's gonna take that whole entire time. But also, right? I just showed you how to quicken it, right? I also just showed you how to make money. So I just showed you how to quicken the review, and I showed you how to monetize the review. More importantly, if you're trying so hard to cover your referees, you still get the opportunity to cover your referees. Because now instead of them taking 5 minutes to review something that looks blatantly obvious, now they only had 24 seconds. Now they only had 35 seconds. You could have missed something. So they can easily now say, with the time allotted, we did not see enough information to overturn the call or to do X, Y, Z call. And that's how you improve your review methods. And at least in a way so that this doesn't have to happen. Where it looks like you're blatantly not calling touchdowns just so referees don't have to review it. Let me say that again, right? So that it looks like you're blatantly not calling touchdowns just so referees don't have to review it. Because then that's just being lazy and irresponsible. And that's not what we want. That's not what we want here at all. So I'm not quite sure why they're doing this, and thank you guys for listening. If you guys are joining us through the Podbean app, the Podbean app is what we use for our call-in hotline. So the phone lines are open if you guys want to call in and join the show. So let's get back into this Dolphins. Let's get back into this Dolphins-Bills game. This was a close game like all the way through. First quarter is tied 7-7. At the half it's tied 14-14. And this is when in the second quarter is when the first scare maybe hit Dolphins fan, right? Because Tua takes a late hit, right? Or what's constituted as I'm going to not get into semantics, right? Tua takes a late hit. And he bangs his head back on the turf, right? And you see it's funny that he says it was his back, right? But when he fell, he was holding his head. I know he's trying to play it off so that he don't have to worry answer the concussion protocol stuff. And granted, remember now how cautious they are about concussion protocols. anytime you feel like, woo, a little lightheaded, like that one left me a little dizzy for a second. Like some of those times you could regain, you can quickly regain. I think we've all been hit for a loop, you know what I mean? Every once in a while, especially if you've worn a helmet before, right? Even in the military, I'm pretty sure you've had somebody, especially if a sergeant that wanted to get back at you, come up to you and crack your helmet with his helmet and completely like fry your brain for a couple of minutes. Yeah, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. I've had soldiers do that to me. So he gets cracked. He goes into the tunnel for concussion protocol. And he gets cracked. He gets cracked good. Right? He falls down, he's holding his head. He gets back up and he falls back down to a knee. Right? Oh shit. Like, I don't got it. Right? Then he gets back up and his teammates have to hold him up. Right? Training staff comes up. Nah, sorry, B. Like, you're going to have to go into the back and at least fake the funk for a second. They take him into the back. I'm pretty sure they did the old school thing to him. Give it a little sniffing salt. Oh, here goes a shot of bourbon. If it was Deshaun Watson, I'm pretty sure they would have had somebody backstage to massage his taint. Right? But little smelling salt, little shot of bourbon, little shot of Henny, little shot of Douce. All right, the Casamigos, whatever Jay-Z's new Henny. I'm cognac is, right? I always forget sometimes. And have him wait a while, and put him right back out there. Oh no, I'm glad I got your number. I wasn't sure if that was your number or not. You know what? This is perfect. I need to check on you and see how you're doing. This is actually perfect freaking timing. I hope you're watching. Because if you are watching, you know exactly. Oh, I forgot I had this alcoholic beverage. I don't know what it was. But I am going to try this. Sucker. Can I tell you? This game is a running game right now. Right? This game is a full-blown running game right now. Every time you look up, you're seeing Ezekiel Elliott, Scott Pollard, Saquon Barkley, all these guys. And we seen an easy drop pass too. That was in his hands. Who was that? CeeDee Lamb? And he's smiling? Who's 88? That can't be CB Lamb or CD Lamb. He's about to see the bench. Yeah, that is Lamb. I can't believe that he dropped, and that was in his hands. All he had to do was stretch out. My bad. That could have been the game-winning touchdown right there. I'm sorry, like, I'm not even rooting for the Cowboys, right? I don't ever root against New York. You know what I mean? I don't ever root against New York teams. Let's put it that way, right? And but as a sports fan, right? As el ídolo deportivo, when you see a good play, you have to give it his roses all day long. Here goes Scott Pollard with a run to the right, and they get the first down on 3rd and 1. Both of these teams are trying to establish the run. Not only in this game early, but in their season. Period. You see it. Like you see by the way these teams are playing. I don't know how Dallas has played the first 2 games, to be honest with you. I really don't. But this game right here, they are punching it. Like they are trying to, and listen, they are catching some good runs. Like I told you, they broke a 46-yard. They bought a 46-yarder earlier. Now the thing about it, you see both defenses having a bend but don't break kind of mentality where Both teams have made it into the red zone, but both of them have also failed to score as well when getting down there. The defenses have held up in both scenarios. So they may be giving up a couple of big plays, right? But they're not giving up the plays that matter or the scoring plays. This game looks interesting. We got about like a little under 3 minutes left in the game. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. And don't forget, folks, don't forget to, if you're listening, right? Don't forget to like, don't forget to share. More importantly, don't forget to follow. So, subscribe, wherever you're listening at. Head over to YouTube, head over to Twitch. Make sure you like and subscribe over there as well. Right? That way you can hear the bing bong every time that we go on. Because remember, it's a blast. It's always a blast on the MyT Sports Podcast. You want to make sure that you be part of that show as well. So, second quarter happens. Tua goes out. Right? Looks like he's concussed. They give him a little smelling salt. Right? Ooh, that was close. He comes back in. And again, just a slow, steady pace. Like, I may start calling him Tua the Tortoise, right? Because he may be fast, but they don't play with a super fast speed, even though they have the cheetah out there. Like, they have no problem with Tua having 25 passes for 102 yards. Like, seriously, they don't care. They really don't care. As long as it's 25 passes, 102 yards, no turnovers, 65, 75, 80% completion rate, and a couple of touchdowns, hopefully. And you've also ran for 150 yards. They don't care. All they got to do is win games. And see, this is what the real philosophy is, right? That people misunderstand. One thing you guys should be, NFL players really should be doing, right? The organization should be doing, is allow their players to come off the bench. A lot of these great young quarterbacks that you're talking about here, they all came off the bench. They all waited a little bit. Every single one of their organizations were over there clamoring and wanting and salivating for that young quarterback to come in. And when they did, once that young quarterback got to sit back and watch the game and learn the game a little bit, see a bunch of these defenses, see a couple of mistakes that can happen, see some things real time, get a couple of snaps and blowouts, right? Get a little feel for it if they can. Then you see them come out and be successful. The wait, there's no problem waiting. Like, patience is a virtue for real. It's not just a saying. It actually is a thing. I'm here for all the cross talk, right? I'm here for all the shit talk. You guys know this, right? Whether it's from fans, whether it's from players, whoever it's from. But I find the crosstalk between players, especially when it's lighthearted, right? And it's done in that WWE kind of fashion, I find it to be super interesting. We're going to get there in a minute, right? I'll let you guys know what I'm talking about. This is another one of those games, right? Between the Dolphins and the Bills that will come down to the last minute, right? Even the last play. We saw safeties. We saw butt punts, which isn't as doesn't flow off the tongue as well as butt fumble. But we saw the butt punt. And yet, even with all of those things against the Dolphins, they still manage to win. You know what they say? Even a broken clock, right, can be right 3 times a day. Or even a garbage can gets a steak. You know, is that what it says? No. Even a broken clock can be right 3 times a day. Something like that. I think that's what the saying is. And that's how you get the Dolphins at 3-0. And Dolphins fans, listen. I want to tell them to calm down. But you know what? Enjoy it. Talk your shit while you can. Because you know what? Sports fans of certain franchises, right? Like I see some Bills fans, right? Yankees fans, Giants fans. Well, Giants fans, not this year. But some fans of some franchises, they really take the joy out of being a fan all around out of it, right? Because even when your team is doing good, and I don't care how good, right? Even when your team is good, even when your team is having success, they refuse to enjoy it in the moment because they're thinking, oh, well, how is this going to be when it comes to champion? Let me let you know. And listen, even though this is a sports world, right? And this is the one area I tell you that this is where we can be irrational. I never understand this commercial, this Experian commercial, right? Like all of a sudden, the wall explodes open, and then you see this guy like he's catching a seizure or whatever. A cow comes out of nowhere, and the next thing you know, there's like this floating. What was this? Like some floating thing beside a cow in a window. Like I don't get it. But let's get back. Dolphins fans like no, enjoy it because really there are just some fandoms out there that they really don't enjoy their team's success, right? I understand that the end game may not be ultimate, but enjoy the moments in the moment, and that's also a life lesson as well, right? Like I said, so I just hope that you're not living your life the way you're living your sports life, right? That's unhealthy. Remember, the sports world is where we're able to be like this, and anywhere else is unhealthy. Like I said, I have an unhealthy tendency because my sport, the downfalls of my team will ruin my day. But also, that means that I have to allow the success of my team to also make my day. And I can't just let myself be depressed for 6 months because whatever they're doing, I know is not going to lead to a championship. No. Enjoy it while it's there. Enjoy the streaks. Enjoy the ups. Be down in the downs. But enjoy your downs too, because it's what makes the ups feel so good. Like Dolphins fans, part of the reason why you're on cloud 9 right now, right? Bragging about your little 3-0 record. It's because you've been doing you've been so basura for the last God knows how long that you're thinking that's like, man, this just feels good again. Listen, Jets are there too. They got 1 win in their first 3 games, and they're like, whew, boy, we ain't know what it felt like to win a game in these first 5 games in a while. It's been since we don't had a. So I'm here all for. I'm excited. I'm listen, in a very weird way, I am happy for your losses, and in a very small way, I'm also happy for your success because I want to see the energy. That's all I really want more than anything else, right? Is that I want that energy to show. Because it's that energy that. Oh wait, did I? For a second, I thought I didn't. Wait, did I not make this in TikTok? Or did I make? I don't know. I think I did it in both. I did. Okay. I was about to say. Oh, my boo was active today. Let me stop. Let me stop. I got a future boo. You know who you is. Don't play games with me. All right, let's get back. Like, I gotta trying to get out of here. So you know what? Let me take a quick pause. Y'all been seeing these trends, right? Like these vids, right? These little videos. And there's this video out there, right? Where it's can I get a right? And I see some of the weirdest quotes on there, like, oh, teaching my son or my daughter to not nobody dim their inner sparkle or whatever the hell it is. And I'm like, the fuck are they talking about? I'm like, all of a sudden, you're trying to talk about your kid like expressing their inner circle. I'm like, no, you're trying to teach your children how to go Super Saiyan over there. Listen, it's a problem. Listen, it was a problem when I do it. It's okay when they do it. It's a problem when I did it. When we were trying to go Super Saiyan in school, it was like, yo, what the hell is wrong with these kids just yelling in the middle of the hallway? Now it's okay. You trying to say like, oh, listen, come here, little one, come here. Can I get a? And now it's okay. It's their inner sparkle suddenly. Fuck out of here. Like you're trying to teach your kids how to go Super Saiyan. I get it. Like you don't have to, you don't have to feed me the BS. Okay, you really don't. But I see how y'all keep liking. This is another one of those scenarios where they just keep trying to flip shit in to fit their own little narrative. Like, stop it. That is how you go Super Saiyan. That is not no inner sparkle. Well, you know what? You know what? Actually, in Dragon Ball Super, when he met the Saiyans from Universe 9 or 7 or whatever it was, he did say turning Super Saiyan felt like a little sparkle in his back, and then it fired off, and then bam. You know what? You know what? You guys are clever. You guys are clever. It could still be the inner. It still could be you guys trying to teach him how to go Super Saiyan. You're just trying to hide it. You know, you ain't slick. We're on to you. We see you. We see you all. Dolphins fans, call up. Don't forget, we're still waiting for you guys. I know you guys are happy about your victory. Listen, this was a game all the way to the end. And once again, it came down to for Josh Allen, late game execution. That really put the nail in the coffin for him. It's just that they get it out to receiver that doesn't understand time management. And instead of getting out of bounds, he's fighting for more yards. When they get the ball, they're not able to get down there and spike it in time so they can get off a field goal. Poor time management. Poor situational football. But you know what? Ooh. You know what? Diggs just try to blast Kenny Galloway, right? And in doing so, he injured his own self. And I wonder if they're going to call a hit on a defenseless receiver. No, they're calling a hit on. Wait a minute. You read lips. It's on the offense. This would eliminate a 20-yard complete. Wait, what the hell? Are they calling something on Sterling Shepard? Okay, let's see here. So he's running his route. Oh. Okay. I take that back. Stephen Diggs did not hit somebody and try to blast him and hurt himself. There was a crossing route, it looks like. And what happened is that yeah, that's a tough one. Because I don't know if Sterling Shepard saw him until he turned his head. And I think that Diggs was coming in to blast him in case he was got to be the guy catching the ball over the middle. That's a tough call. And they screwed the Giants on that one. They really did. They really did. Now it's 3rd and 23. Completely eliminated a 21-yard reception. This is probably now going to end up in a punt. Now the referees are calling something else. Did he get a delay of game? The play clock was at 0? Say it ain't so. The Giants are literally crumbling before our eyes right now. And all you can see is smiles from both head coaches. Smiles from the Giant head coach because he's in disbelief, and smiles from the for the Cowboys head coach, like, hey, let them keep backing themselves up. Like, we don't even have Juvenile here, and they're backing it up. 3rd and 23 still. What had this happened there? Did they call a timeout? I don't know. They do a shuttle pass, 1 yard. They're going to let Saquon try to take it. They said they play it safe. Saquon gets 20 yards on that one. I wonder if they're going to go for it, folks. We have 8 seconds left before the half. It's 4th and 2. Yeah, that call completely screwed them because they were at least trying to get some kind of points on the board, see if they can at least get a field goal and tie this game before the half. So you see them trying to get back yards that they already had. So now they're gonna have to try to get the first down, right? Hopefully and then not only get the first down, try to get within field goal range. Your field goal range is almost like 50 yards for kickers these days. So they're just about in technical field goal range. And we'll see what continues to happen. We'll see what continues to happen. And we'll also see if the Dolphins can can continue their winning streak, right? Because listen, why did it last? Why did it last, Dolphins fans? Like you guys realize you guys got almost the first whole hour of the show. Enjoy it. Please enjoy it while it lasts. Because like I said, it wasn't an easy game. It wasn't like they blew out. It wasn't like they blew and the Dolphins missed on 4th and 2. What looked like a horrible pass and a horrible decision and a horrible play and horrible but you know what? Kudos to the Dallas defense, because what it looks like also is that you can tell that they were probably trying to go to the sideline so they could catch the ball and get right out of bounds, and they played them for that. And you saw 3 men surrounding, I think that was Sterling Shepard that caught that ball. So that was 4th and 2. Now, that gives Dallas the ball back with 8 seconds left to go. And they're going to try the same thing. That looks like they may try the same thing that the Giants just tried. We're hoping that they may try to get a quick pass or a quick run, hopefully get them into the middle of the field. All right, get a little bit closer, and then attempt a field goal. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be interesting as they go into the half. And then once they go into the half, don't worry, folks. There'll be a whole lot more focus, and we'll get back into the rest of the podcast. We'll take a little quick break our damn selves. Right? Crack open this sucker. I still got this here. Plus, I ain't even drinking yet this whole entire time because you know it's not in front of my face. And folks, let's see if they give him the completion. I think they did give him the completion. They called the timeout. He got it to the tight end, number 81. Yep. He falls, lets the ball go, starts calling timeout. And now he's going to try a field goal within his career high. We'll see. This is one of those things like they say in basketball where you're like, oh, this was like a 21 when they miss an easy field goal, easy 3-point play, another team comes back and scores. We're like, yo, that's a 6-point swing, even though it was only 3 points. Like, no, like you had the opportunity to put 3 to 7 points on here, and now you're allowing them to put 3. And let's see if he makes this field goal, and he doesn't. So you came out of here real lucky, because if you would have put some points on there, you know what I mean? You're talking about a 6 to a 10-point swing you're talking about. Well, not 10. Like, I forgot what the hell of math it probably really looks like. +1. So instead of +4, it's +1. You know, something like that. All right, they're going into halftime. We can refocus. Let's continue to go. All right. So Tua got lucky, right? I'm gonna say this: like Tua got lucky, the Dolphins got lucky. Tua got lucky because they allowed him to come back in that game and finish it off, right? And they cleared him through concussion protocol or whatever concussion protocol. There was going to be an investigation by the NFL Players Association, most like even the NFL himself, to make sure that the concussion protocol was followed correctly. Because remember, that concussion protocol is not only to protect players, but also to protect the NFL and also to protect players from themselves, also to protect teams from themselves. Because we understand everybody's a competitor. No quarterback wants to go out. And Tua's a young quarterback, right? He knows what's up. Remember my not fruition, not intuition. God damn it. Forgetting the word I was looking for. But remember what? Oh, that's right. Myles Garrett was involved in a single car accident earlier this week. Or I think today. The car was completely crumbled. He got out. He had sprained his pinky. That's one tough dude. Matt Jones, high ankle sprain. Rashad Slaughter, torn left bicep tendon. Trent Williams, high ankle sprain, out 4 to 6 weeks. Rashawn Slaughter out for the season. Matt Jones game to game. That, folks, really quickly as it was your MyT injury report. The Dolphins got super lucky, right? But the NFL and NFLPA, they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna investigate the whole entire thing to make sure that everything was followed properly. And if they don't, what's probably gonna happen? The team or the organization is gonna get fined. They'll probably lose a draft pick. It's not like they're gonna come back and say, "Hey, Tua, you got to miss 2 games now." They're not gonna do that. But listen, we said it's there to just dropped it right through his hands. And I said, and it's a rule that's there to protect them from themselves because players are gonna want to play. Tua knows that he came into the league injured, right? Since he's come into the league, he's got injured again since then, right? And not only that, you see now they have one of the professional bridge quarterbacks in the league on the team, and Teddy. Oh, sorry, it's been a while. Steady Teddy Bridgewater on his team as well. So he's not going to want to give up that spot to Teddy. Listen, there were 2 quarterbacks that we said they're not going to start. There's 2 quarterbacks that we said that they will end up starting at some point in time this season. And it was Teddy Bridgewater in Miami, and it was I think it's Tyrod Taylor in New York. I think Tyrod is on the Giants. Right? If nobody else, Tua is not in concussion protocol. They said it was his back. That was some bull. You fell, you hit your head. You didn't fall and was like, oh my God. Like, because if you fall on your back spasms real quick, you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, you arch. Like, isn't that like, listen, we all know, ladies. No, but listen, we all know what happens. Like, if something pops in your back or pinches your back real quick, you arch your back. When something stings your arm, right? You grab at your arm. Right? When you sprain your knee or your ankle, you start grabbing towards your leg. When you hurt your head, you grab your head. When do you hurt your back and start grabbing your head? What ever just say that the new that for some time now the concussion protocol has been slowly been watered down to a quick, hey, you think you're good? Let's take it to the back, give you some smelling salt, and bring you back out there and say we gave you a test. Or maybe, who knows? Maybe they're making them sign papers I'm like, hey, you got to sign this paper so that you're good to go back out there, Pimpin, for this game, and make it be a game-to-game basis. You know what I mean? You gotta have to waiver. You have to waiver something. We understand. Listen, we understand old quarterbacks not wanting to give up their spot. We understand young quarterbacks not wanting to give up that spot. We understand. We understand all quarterbacks all players, especially football players, not wanting to give up that spot. It don't matter who you are. Like on any given Sunday, anybody could be replaced for the long run. Let's let them gel with you. And speaking of gelling, on yesterday, right, when we did the podcast, we looked at some of these betting numbers, right? And we decided that we wanted to see how we would do if we were to bet on certain aspects of this game. And can I tell you, if you guys would have listened to me, you may have come out a little richer. Because I was looking at this, I was like, it can't be this easy. It can't be this easy. And au contraire, mon frère, sometimes it is. We're going to go over those betting results right after this quick break.
I want you all to remember, the change you want begins with you. Your vote matters. So don't just register to vote. Go out and vote and begin making the change you want.
Pull up. One more time.
I want you all to remember, the change you want begins with you. Your vote matters. So don't just register to vote. Go out and vote and begin making the change you want.
Yeah, we back on the Mighty Sports Podcast. Let's crack this thing open this whole time. Look, this thing is beginning. I don't even know what this is. This is, let's see here. It's probably one of those like hard seltzer things, whatever. But it's Stella Rosa. It's an alcohol grape wine specialty with natural flavors. Let's see what we got here for alcohol content. It's like having 1.5 glasses of wine. See, wait, hold on. Whoa. Okay. You want to give me a little alcohol? Oh, okay, regular. All right, let's see what this sucker tastes like. You know we gotta get our antioxidants on, right? Stella Rosa. And we say, hey, yo, this could be your product right here. It's pretty fucking good. That's pretty damn good. You actually taste the blueberry. If it is real blueberry, you can taste it. That one was good. Let's just hope that by the time I'm done with it, I really feel like I had 1.5 glasses of wine. So, when we did the show yesterday, I decided to go over some of the betting numbers for Josh Allen. Right? And you guys know I'm not a betting person myself. Right? But I wanted to see how things would look. Because I'm like, you know what? It's one of those things that always pique my curiosity. Like I'm always curious, like, how would I do if I bet? Because I feel like I'm a calculated person, right? So I wonder, how would I do if I bet? And I decided to look up the Josh Allen numbers. Right? And here were his numbers that they had for his spread. Over under was 280 yards. 1.5 yards for a pass, or 1.5 passing touchdowns. 34.5 passing attempts. 24.5 passes completed. 38.5. I always forget what the hell that is. But also a half an interception. And that's about where I stopped at, right? For the most part. There was also a couple of other lines too that I saw. And we'll talk about that. Now, let's talk about these numbers, right? 280 yards passing. I thought he was going to go over. He passed for 400 yards. 1.5 passing touchdowns. He had 2. $34.5 passing attempts. And I thought he was going to go over on that on passing touchdowns. 34.5. Yo, can I get a little something? A little something back here? Just a little something. All right, give me the go hard or go home. No, actually, no, give me the
love to see it segment of the week. Give me that shit. Love to see it.
Nah, because we got to say that for somebody else. Give me this again.
Go hard. I'm so jacked right now. Go home. I
Unless that's we know we gotta get you guys a gambler one. Because the only reason I'm running this again because this is the go hard or go home game of the week. And yeah, no doubt. So we had him for 1.5 passing touchdowns. He ended up passing for 2, right? We picked the over. 34.5 passing attempts, right? We picked the over. He had 42. 24.5 pass completions. Right, sorry. My bad. 34.5 pass attempts. He had 63 passing attempts. 63 passing attempts. 24.5 pass completions. I picked the over there as well. 42 pass completions. I'm telling you, I would have eaten. Oh, I would have been happy today. They would have lost, but I would have been eating like a king today. Oh, his longest pass. What was his longest pass that game? We're going to have to find that out. Do I have that anywhere? That's interesting. Okay, I just realized which one category I've been struggling with this whole entire time. Right? I didn't realize I wrote down his longest pass. And I think they had him down here as longest pass as 38.5. And I took the over on that one as well too. Or maybe I didn't remember what I wrote down by that time. Listen, man. Like sometimes you write shit down and you don't get it. But his longest pass was 28 yards. I was gonna take the over if I would have remembered what the hell it was when I talked about this on the podcast on Sunday. And lastly, not quite lastly, but lastly, the ones we mentioned so far. So I would have lost money there. For full disclosure, I would have won on the total yards, 1 on passing touchdowns, 1 on passing attempts, 1 on passing completions, but lost on longest pass. I think it would have been all right. So far, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4. I would have had 4 winners so far. And also interceptions. He had his interceptions at a half an interception, the over under. And obviously the money was on the under, and I took the under. I'm telling you, I was cleaning up. I was cleaning up in this game. Now, this is the part that kind of confuses me. This as a person that generally doesn't bet. There was a couple of numbers out there that I was willing to also take. There was a number, it was plus 115 on him having one touchdown, plus 700 on him having two touchdowns, plus 3,000 on him having three touchdowns. And I was willing to bet on them all. But you would have won on the one touchdown, one on the two touchdown, lost on the three. Again, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hitters out of 2 misses for the night. You would have broke bank. I would have taken that. I would have lost 200 to make whatever it was in the profit of the other 7 that I hit. Let's just call it let's just make it even. Let's just say I would have won another 700. So I would have won 500 for the day. But some of these were also other hitters, like 2 touchdowns for 700 alone. So that alone would have doubled everything up. So so those little things. Like I said, I'm not a gambling person like that, but it was just one of those. It was one of the interesting things. I wanted to look at the lines for Josh Allen and see what the betting numbers were and the odds were. I think the Bills were a 4.5 favorite. I'm a 4.5 point favorite, right? And oh yeah, that was a 2-point game. Let's see, the money line was 205. Total 53 points. How many points did they score in total? I think it was under 53, wasn't it? They only scored 40. So listen, little things like this may make me experiment. And I'm one of those guys, like, I have no problem experimenting with $10 at a time. And then I'll be like, you know what? We'll bump it up eventually. Right? I am fully one of those guys. Like, I'll be here making $10 bets all over the place. Like, hey, yo, nah, I think this is going to happen. 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 And let's see what happens. Alrighty. Let's officially move off these Dolphins. Let's officially move off the Bills. Right? And let's get into the rest. Let's get into the rest of these games, right? We got some Thursday night football coming up, don't we? Right? No, sorry. That was yesterday's show. My bad. We got some media day. Right? We had media day. What media day? NBA's media day. I know you want to like, Tay, it's way too early. Like, it's way too early to be talking about basketball. Like, yeah, you bugging. Like, but it's not too early. October 4th is the Knicks' first game. Granted, it's preseason. I said 5th. Did I say October 5th? I said October 4th is the first game. I don't know. But October 4th, the 4th, is the Knicks' first game. That's 2 weeks away. You guys realize that? Not even. We'll be 10 days away from it. Less than 10 days. Had to do some quick math. Well, listen, we might be like 8 days away. So we're just about a week away. So we're less than 10 days away. Less than 10 days away from the beginning of the NBA season. We had media day today. And what that means is that with media day and with basketball, that means we get the return of that Knicks talk. You know, whoa. Calm down, Jamal. Put the 9 away. Let's bring that down to a 2. There we go. You got that Knicks talk. You know I stay with that Knicks talk. Whew. From the city to the park. From the broad to the walk. We got that Knicks talk. We got that Knicks talk. Oh, man. So happy to talk Knicks again. It's like I haven't been talking Knicks, right? I haven't found every single way to talk. Actually, no, I would say like all season. I wouldn't say all season. But even I'm a little surprised. I thought I would have gotten into a couple more shows before I got basketball to put in here. But you realize I'm barely going to get a chance to get to show number 20 before that happens. And speaking of, hopefully, folks, we get the opportunity. We'll talk. We get the opportunity to have a special guest on the podcast on Wednesday. We'll talk about who that guest is going to be a little bit later on the show. It's going to be a special. I've been dying to get this person on the podcast. You guys have no clue. Like I've been dying to get her on the podcast. And if it finally comes through on Wednesday, I am going to be so happy. Like you understand? I may be starstruck. She's like a local celebrity. She really is. Like I don't know how many of you know the local famous actress in your neighborhood, but that's what she is, right? So like I really can't wait to get on the show. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. We'll talk about some of the things that she's doing right in her community as well. It really is impressive. We can't wait. Big things are coming. Not only that, I'm really trying to see if I can get a couple of other people that I know personally, right, that have podcasts to go ahead and reach out to her as well. They're also in this local area, and so we could go ahead and get a little round robin of promotions for you. Listen, man, people don't understand. Like I work so many things behind the scenes. Like, it's not even funny. And then I come out here and I spill my guts to you guys. And I'm like, listen, I may have blown the secret, but that's only if you're watching the podcast. And if you're watching the podcast, then it's not real. And really, I just told you, it's because it's only me and you here, right? There's nobody else. It's just me and you here, all right? So we had media day. Listen, I don't care how many bets I take. I wouldn't have bet that I would talk about basketball today, unless something tragic happened in basketball, like what happens with Myles Garrett getting into a car accident. Like that would be the only way I could see myself. But that's not the case. We just had a regular old media day, and for about a good hour and a half, you got to see all of the key individuals for the Knicks like take a spin through there, right? We saw Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson. I didn't even know Evan Fournier was still on the team, to be honest with you. Saw Derrick Rose, Octavius Randle. We saw Obi. So you really got the whole squad. And as I'm watching, I think it was Monica McNutt, right? Make sure we put full respect on her name. I think it was Monica McNutt that was doing the interview. And she asked every player, right, that came through to name a couple of things, right, that you think is the makeup of this team, right? You think is the attitude of this team. You think it's going to be the team's identity, the team's theme coming up next year. And it was interesting to hear a couple of the answers. A couple of answers also revealed to me which players are hanging out a lot in the off season, right? By their answer. I'm gonna tell you this. I think we already knew this about this pair, but Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin, you can tell that they very much. Oh man, it was 2nd and 26, and the Cowboys DB tried to jump that route for interception. I'm trying to see if this was Diggs, who's number 7. And he really almost had it, and it just went through his hands. And if he would have got that, that was a pick 6. But instead, it turned 2nd and 26 into 3rd and 10. So he gained 16 yards on that, only to gain like 4 more on the last one. And that was Trayvon Diggs. Okay. This is good. It gets down with that. And yeah, I feel like I'm drinking about a glass and a half of wine. It's not bad. It's not a bad feeling. I got a feeling. Ooh. They made that? Damn. So if they would have got that field goal attempt, they may have made it. He just punched in a 51-yarder, tied the game 6-6. 9 minutes left to go in the third. All right, let's continue. So the media day happens, and this is theme for the New York Knicks, right? That you start hearing, right? And as I said, not only is a theme, I can start telling. You can tell that there's a couple of players that spend time there, which is good, because you want team chemistry on the court and off the court, right? You want to have, and listen, I know we've all had these individuals in our lives, so you want this for your teammates as well, right? For your team as well. You want players to be so close where they can look at each other, give each other a certain look, and you be like, Titanic. Like, what? Titanic. Like, he didn't even say anything. Nah, Titanic. Turns over the card. Titanic! Give him the look like what? Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood? Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood! Like, that's how you want. That's how you want, like, these, like your team, your team players to be. That's how you want your teammates to be, or your team to be with with each other. You want them to have that. Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly, right? Obi Toppin said this team is gonna be hardworking, basically give 110% all the time, basically what you expect from a normal Tom Thibodeau team. But he also said determined, right? And you could tell this is probably the theme period for the team. And maybe not so many people wanted to say this, but the young guys are like, fuck it, we're gonna put it out there, because if I put it out there, then this is also part of the standard we're gonna hold ourselves to as young guys, right? Some people are like that. I know I'm like, yo, once I say it, I'm like, damn, now I gotta go do this shit now. That's something like, I'm gonna hold this to myself, because once I say it, and I have to go start doing everything in my power to try to achieve it. Because once I have verbalized it, it is now official reality. And that reality must manifest by any means necessary. So you hear Obi Toppin talking about hard working, right? Giving maximum effort, what you expect from a Tom Thibodeau team anyway, but also determined to make the playoffs, because they know it's something that they need to thrive to do again. They made it a couple of years ago. They fell short last year. It was not a good feeling. They know that they can do better than that. They need to make the playoffs. Gamble 317. Is that one of my peoples from Indiana? Who is that? And the 317 popping up in here. I see you. Can we get the birthday captions taken down? Thank you, Pimpin. Thank you. Ooh, let's not forget about a couple of these other things. So that was when I heard Obi say that, I was like, okay, I hear you and I see you, right? And by then, by the time Obi appeared, I think he was the fourth person that they interviewed. Quickly was one of the last, right? Him and Phony, one of the last. And I was like, okay. Even by then, even though his comment hadn't matched anybody, you can start feeling a pattern here, right? Like, I think it was, well, Octavius Randle, he said the dumbest thing ever. He said, well, I guess, maybe not. He said fun, and then he mumbled some whack-ish. That's all I can say. Like, that's literally what he did. And then, but you heard Jalen Brunson say hungry, and he mumbled something else, and I couldn't quite understand what he was saying, right? But he said hungry and something else. RJ Barrett says hungry and motivated, right? Jalen Brunson says hungry and whatever he says. And you start to understand, okay, they're motivated, right? That motivated comment, that's to making the playoffs. That motivated, determined, that's because they want to make the playoffs. Dedicated to make the playoffs. 100%. Make the playoffs. Hard working, Tom Thibodeau team anyway. Mitchell Robinson's dedicated and motivated. Emmanuel quickly says determined and they're underrated. I don't understand about that portion, but he says, they feel underrated. Okay. Let's get you rated properly then. Because if you had the kind of performance you had last week or last year, then you'd have been perfectly rated with where you at. Derrick Rose says resilient and that they need to, and hopefully they could learn to be patient. That's old Derrick Rose talking. Evan Fournier says tough and together. Again, dedicated, motivated, determined, tough, hungry, resilient. Those are the words from the players' mouths themselves on how they see this team being next year, on how they want to be seen, how they want to play, the kind of attitude they want to give off. Octavius Randle's the only one that said fun and angelic, or whatever the hell he said. Derrick Rose said something that kind of bothered me, right? And he said he wanted to lead better, right? Or lead more, but it's kind of hard trying to lead when you're not on the court. He said he's been in those situations, and the way that he felt was, man, you're not even on the court, man. And I'm like, I get that. But that means that you didn't respect that person as a leader. Because we see scenarios, Golden State, LA. We've seen scenarios where the leader of the team, Phoenix, is not on the court, right? And did I eat already? No, I didn't. And they're still fully engaged with team practice, the team's offense, the team's defense, the play calling, the motivating of their guys on the bench. They're fully engaged. So I guess in Derrick Rose's, the way that Derrick Rose is in his makeup, he doesn't like that. So he wouldn't lead that way. Or maybe he just didn't respect the person that was leading at the time. Because sometimes you need your vocal guy to be like, yo, come on, man, let's step it up. Just him to still be that vocal leader, them to still be involved, them to still be engaged, to make it seem like he hasn't checked out. Now Derrick Rose has always been a reclusive kind of guy. He's always been a guy that feels like, you know what? It's very easily for him to detach. It's something that he used to be criticized for when he was still young and more relevant and more in the offense, that is. Or for a team. Like I said, Derrick Rose right now has a job in the league because of Tom Thibodeau. Because Tom Thibodeau refuses to let him not have a job, which is great. Everybody needs somebody in their life that refuses to give up on them. That isn't their parents. Because trust me, sometimes your parents give up on you too, but they're just your parents and they just kind of keep biting those bullets. Oh, they threw a flag, late hit. This game is spicy. Yo, look at that. This game is spicy. Look at that. They're yanking them away, yanking players away. They're in the middle. There's a scrummage going on. We got a scrummage. That wasn't that much of a late hit. Because he was still kind of in bounds when he hit him. They're gonna review that. Let's see what happens here. They're gonna have to review that. But hey, yo, this is definitely doing its job. If I would have banged out 3 of these, and think about it. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm not saying that like I'm lit, but I can feel it. I can feel it. Boom, 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 boom. But I can feel it. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I think I got another one downstairs. I think when we take the army break, we're gonna take an army break. That used to what we used to call taking an Armadale break. That's when that was Jay-Z's early vodka. The Armadale. He was like, yo, we're gonna take an army break. Army guys, you know what I mean? Plus I'm a Jay-Z fan too, you know what I mean? So yo, he was get me the army break real quick. Hungry, motivated, dedicated, hardworking, determined, fun, some whack-ish, resilient, patience, tough, together. Those are the words from the key players of the Knicks. Like I said, I told you that you could tell the players hang out. You could tell that RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson have been hanging out, and that they hang out. They're banter towards each other, right? The little comments that they make, you know what I mean, that they say about each other. You can tell that they hang out like they really are kind of friends, right? Just like I said, Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin, just by how they both answered and some of the things that they were saying, you can tell that they both not only hang out, converse about the things the direction that this team is going in and things that the coaches have said to them. I want to say that I think Mitchell Robinson hangs out with RJ Barrett as well. And now it's a trio of RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, and Jalen Brunson. I want to say I think that's how that is now, but I'm not quite sure. But again, it was just good and interesting to see that basketball was back. I don't want to take too much time of it. I'm gonna put myself on a timer, right? And we'll get back. And we'll get right back into some more football. We got an hour and a half. We got time. Now it just wasn't Knicks media day. It was media day period, right? But you guys, listen to me. Listen to the pattern of the teams I'm talking about right now, and listen and understand that these will be the same teams that Saquon with the swim move, Swan, swim. Saquon with the easy swim move, not even the stiff arm, just swim. Just keep swimming. Told you, keep moving forward. Put a little on the guys. Next thing you know, he's breaking it to the left. Look at my back while I break to the left. I just broke that tackle. I broke the pile. And I just left you staring for a while. Keep talking your mess, that's fine. How does my numbers look from behind? Got the remix in there. Giants are up 13-6. It's a big touchdown. I told you early, both teams. It was a swim move, but it was a hot jump to the left. A little, get off me, don't touch me. That's my special place. The next you know, he's going to the house to tell his mama that you tried to touch him. Saquon Barkley. I got to see how long that was. That looked like a 40-yard touchdown. Ooh, IHOP with the $5 two-piece. Pancake, eggs, oh my God, they're making me hungry. 222 for $5. Ooh, can I order that through the app and have that delivered to me? Because I promise you, I may make that what I eat in the morning. All right, let's get back. Let's get back into it, right? So, like I said, it wasn't just Knicks media day. We also had media day for the rest of, for a good portion of the league as well, right? Because they do scatter some other teams' media, if I'm not mistaken. I think they do scatter a couple of media days, right? So that every team isn't having a media day on the same day. I think it's scattered, and if it's not scattered, then it used to be scattered. But Miami had their media day, and can I tell you, Jimmy Butler is not only a fool, he's a goddamn lie, right? Jimmy Butler is lying to the world, people. Because he has said that those aren't hair extensions. He is lying to the world. And if you believe him, then you're not only a fool, but you're a new fool. Sorry. My apologies. I'm not trying to dish you or anything. Like, I'm just letting you know that ain't no way in hell that he did what he done did in that amount of time. And I'm telling you, like, I've had my hair now for 3 years, and it ain't down to here suddenly, right? And I'm not in the non-hair growing portion of my life anymore. But I do wonder, right? If you get to a certain point in your life where your hair could only grow, right? Or for certain people, if their hair can only grow but so long, if you have a predetermined length that your hair can grow. Like, you know how some people can only grow so much facial hair? I wonder if there's a predetermined length of hair that you can grow as well. And I wonder if I've hit my length. It's been like 3 years. I wonder. And I wonder if you know what I mean. So Jimmy Butler, he's definitely lying to the world, because every time I see Jimmy Butler, and granted, like, I think he said that he's only doing stuff like to shock the internet. Well, you know what? It's working, because I see you and I'm like, what in the milli vanilli is this guy doing with your milli vanilli? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I want you looking self. I mean, we're talking about with his how high you got something right here looking self. Like we're talking about, what's my name? I don't know. John Shaft. What's my name? John Shaft. I don't even think that dude had dreads, but that's how you're looking. You're looking like, yo, half-baked. If I wasn't Jamaican, would I be wearing this hat looking boy? Like, what is wrong with you, J, the I, the M, the M, the Y, the J, the M, the I, the Jimmy? That's Jimmy for you, man. That's just Jimmy. And granted, it's fun. Like, I can understand, like granted, I'm here talking, poking fun of him, but Jimmy Butler's one of the only Heat players I fuck with, right? Because he wasn't born and raised the Heat, and he's just Jimmy Butler, and he can't. If you don't like Jimmy Butler, like, people talk about players that you can't like in the league, right? Like, oh, I don't know how you not like Tom Brady. It's very easy not to like Tom Brady. Well, I don't know how you not like LeBron. It's easy not to like LeBron either. But there's no reason not to like not to like Jimmy Butler. Like, Jimmy Butler is the player that you hope most players would be today. He's a 90s player in today's game. Seriously. He's how you hope players played. And that's Jimmy. So, you can't hate against Jimmy. I don't know if he's still like this. Don't have a TV in his crib. Only a stereo and a big ass fish tank. Oh, they held him up second and third. They stopped him. Gang, gang. Tackling, that is. Gang, gang tackling. So, like I said, I poke fun of Jimmy, but like, Jimmy's my boy. I fucks with Jimmy. Pause. Big pause. You know what? Let's move on from Miami's media day then. Like, as we see Udonis Haslem trying to do the Grizzly, right? You know what I mean, in year 20, in his 20th year in the league. But speaking of 20 years in the league, we also have LeBron James. There you go, folks. Three teams we're probably gonna talk about a whole lot this season: New York, Miami, LA, Golden State, Memphis. Then you guys know now. I'm keeping a big eye. I'm keeping a big eye on Memphis. I'm interested in Detroit too. Detroit is an odd team that I'm curious of watching. I want to see how Ivory is, right? To see if he's the next John Morant to really help that team. And then you match him up with, Giants has let one go. And then you matching him up with, what's their light skinned guy that they just got? Jeez, I'm forgetting his name. They just got some light skinned dude last year, if I'm not mistaken. Ah, man, I really am forgetting his name. I'm trying to see if I can picture it, but I can't. But I want to see how that new combination is going to go. Like I think that Detroit. It's funny because I think both Detroit teams, the Lions and the Pistons, that they've accumulated enough young talent, and maybe even a leader or two within that young talent, that they may be able to start being able to move this team forward if they can just find the right coach for them, and the right person in charge for them to, and still talking about the coach, whoever it is, but the right person in charge for them to believe in them, for them to want to follow, for them to want to be able to get knocked down, get up and bite your ankle, and then get knocked down again, and then get up and bite your shin, and then get knocked down again and get up and bite your kneecap, and then get down, and then get knocked down again, and then get up and bite your thigh, and then get knocked down again, and then this is when things happen to get a little uncomfortable, because at this point we are talking about the good old
Twist that dick!
Yeah.
Twist his dick!
The good old dick twist. Like, that's what we're talking about there. But if you have a team that's willing to go through and give them the you know,
dick twist,
then that's what you need. It's extreme, but you see it with the Lions right now. You see the kind of motivation that they're getting from their team, and the Cowboys have answered back. A nice little pass, a nice little 20-yard pass to their tight end, right, followed by a little short run by Ezekiel Elliott, and we now have a 13-12 game. Let's see if they can punch in this extra point. The Los Angeles Lakers had their media day today as well, and so while the Knicks media day to me was very serious, right? Because I mean, there was not a lot to joke around with. They did have a young reporter there, child reporter, right? They had a young reporter there, that was there that helped break some of the monotony. Like I said, Monica McNutt, like even though she's a professional, she can make any interview interesting. She was over there also having individuals take selfies with the old Kodak disposable cameras. That was pretty cool. But it was still funny how she was like, yo, I grew up on this, but she couldn't figure out how to turn on the flash. Like, that kept on being embarrassing. Like, yo, you gotta the little thing you put in there, right? You have to hit the flash for every one. So, even though, like I said, even though it was still like they were still fun, and Monica McNutt is the one that got these answers from all the players, right? The hunger, the motivated, the dedicated. It was still a very kind of serious environment for the most part. For the Miami Heat, you can see it was a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more laid back. But also, what I saw for the Miami Heat was their press conference. I have to go back and watch the Knicks press conference. I didn't see their press conference. I saw their media day. That's going to be something else that we'll probably talk about on Monday. For the Lakers, I caught their press conference, right? Or portions of their press conference. And it was funny to hear as they're asking Patrick Beverley about his favorite LeBron James moment, right? But it's even funny when they tell LeBron James about Patrick Beverley's favorite LeBron James moment. Because LeBron James has oddly been in the news, right? One, he put out a tweet the other day, or he posted the other day. They wonder if he still had any college eligibility left, right? Any college eligibility left, because he was thinking about playing college football. And I was like, hey, yo, that's not out the realm of possibility. If J.R. Smith just got into college for golf, what's to say that LeBron James at 38 can't go play college football? I'm telling you right now, unless he goes and plays for the biggest, baddest, roughest team, you just wait till you play a couple of these big, bad, rough teams, and there's gonna be a dog on there that's gonna want to lay you out. There's gonna be a dog on there that's a Detroit Pistons fan. There's gonna be a dog out there that's a Golden State Warriors fan. There's gonna be a dog out there that's a San Antonio Spurs fan, Boston Celtics fan. There's gonna be somebody out there that's a fan of another organization, and they're gonna want to take it out on you. Or just prove that they can physically match up with you. Because you know what? If their name could go down in history as the guy that took out LeBron James, and they still go down in history. I'm not saying it's a great thing to do, to go out in history for, but you understand that you'll be dominant, but you'll still be risking a lot. Just because of the guys that are gonna want to be able to, like, you know what? Let's see if he can take these hits for real. Let's see if he knows what it feels like to go night night. It's just like it's just like people that want to be a wrestler, right? Or just people that want to be a wrestler, or they want to wrestle and they don't understand what it takes to take a bump, right? Meaning that they don't understand what it takes to fall and constantly like bang yourself like against the floor, which is why I always bring up wrestlers and their concussion issues when we talk about people with concussions, because they get grossly overlooked when we talk about individuals in sports that suffer from brain trauma, that also may have CTE, that suffer from high suicide rates and high violence rates once they're no longer affiliated in their sport or active in their sport, and sometimes even while they are, to the extreme where they have killed their whole entire family, their wife and their kids, and then killed themselves. So let's not get it twisted. All right. So let's back. So they asked LeBron. So you hear LeBron James talk about his college eligibility, right? And that's one thing to be interested in. And then there's also, I thought he was bald. I guess it was a joke when he was at the barber and he put on the bald. Maybe he used the bald filter, but I thought he was bald, and I was like, yo, finally, he done got the self-confidence to say fuck it and get rid of this here. Because if it was true, I was going to pick the Lakers to win the championship this year. Because that means LeBron James really, truly does not give any flying foxtrots. But now we got to see what happens. I wonder what's going to happen with Carmelo Anthony if he's still going to be on the team. I would really like for Carmelo Anthony to either join the Golden State Warriors or the New York Knicks. Seriously, I want Carmelo Anthony to get a championship so bad. That's my dude. You're so bad. But I really do. So let's get into let's get into Patrick Beverley's moment, right? Patrick Beverley gets asked what's his favorite LeBron James highlight, and they're telling this to LeBron James, and they tell them that Patrick Beverley said that his favorite LeBron James highlight was Patrick Beverley blocking LeBron James. Now, can I tell you? If you're laughing and you took that one on the chin, that's exactly how LeBron James took it too. Which I was like, yo, you know what? He's like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with Patrick? Yo, he got issues. Something is wrong with him. But you know what though? It's a different kind of edge that they need, right? It's like they've had edgy people on their team. Rondo, they have edgy people on the team like Russell Westbrook, but they need somebody with a real edge, like Patrick Beverley. Like with a ridiculous amount of supreme confidence kind of like edge. And listen, I feel like we saw Patrick Beverly out during the summer, right? Out at the parks, playing like he was Stephen Curry, talking about trying to crossing fools up, working on his handle, and doing double triple step backs and hitting jumpers. And we saw that from him. Not to say he's gonna do that in the NBA because he has a different role, but man, so like, they may need that guy. And listen, as a Carmelo Anthony fan, I'm hoping that he's the X factor to help get Carmelo Anthony his first ring. Because Carmelo Anthony needs that kind of help. I think he's gonna need the help from like a guy like Patrick Beverly to go along with the help of LeBron James and Anthony Davis to be able to so that he can lead this Lakers team to a championship. I don't know why I thought this thing said Auntie Do's and Don'ts. I'm tripping. The next book I saw was right. But yeah, but Patrick Beverly does have issues. Like his favorite scene is him blocking LeBron James. And listen, that's just Patrick Beverly for you. And they knew what they were getting. See, and that's the thing about it. The Lakers nor LeBron James are ever surprised by the kind of individual that they're getting because I'm pretty sure they do their research, or they have their team doing their research. But the research is done to see what kind of individuals they're getting, and they know that Patrick Beverly isn't wound too well. I was just mentioning that him balling at the park. I've been as much as I've been watching the Legacy, right? The Legacy documentary or series on Hulu, which talks about the Lakers organization. Which I'm still trying to determine, is this a thing that's recapping the Lakers organization or Magic Johnson specifically? Like I still haven't fully determined. But in the midst of it, I've been seeing a lot of the and one stuff, right? And a lot of the stuff about the Ruckers, and I've been watching them lately. We're excited. I told you guys I wanted to get back into some of these other sports things, right? I kind of overlooked them as if I don't have, because time gets them. I'm like, you know what? Let me start making time for these sports documentaries, sports series, and all these other sports related things. And I caught myself in the Legacy and the and one, and the and one, and also a story of the Ruckers. And there was a couple of people that kind of stood out to me as I'm watching this, right? And if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't have it fully written down. The first one, if I'm not mistaken, was Kobe, right? And the Kobe story keeps on going. The different layers that came out. The fact that when he popped up at the Ruckers and he balled out. But not even him so much. Like, let's skip over Kobe for a second. And it's not too often I can say I'm skipping over Kobe to talk about somebody a little bit more sensational. That was Allen Iverson, right? Both of their appearances. But it wasn't so much Allen Iverson's appearance that was sensational to me. It was watching him dunk. Allen Iverson, damn near my height. And just watching him dunk. And watch how effortlessly he jumped. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was literally, it was nothing. And you got to figure, like, some guys, like his height or whatever, maybe there's a little bit of a wind-up. Even most guys these days, you still see them, like, try to get a little wind-up, get a little momentum going. Seen him go, just dribble the ball up just naturally. And then when he jumped, it was just surprising of how quickly and how high up he just elevated. It was just like, phew. As if Icarus gave him springs in his shoes himself. I substitute springs for wings for springs, but you know what I'm saying here. I'm kind of hungry. I could go for some food. I ain't gonna lie. It's one of those I'm like, yo, you know what? I may cheat you guys out of half an hour for show so I can go get some food, but nah, we're gonna make sure you guys get the full 3 hours of the show today. For everybody listening through the podbean calling line, let you guys know within the next 5 minutes, that line is going to disconnect, and we will open up the new line for you guys to listen and call in through when you guys are ready. I see the comments coming through. We'll go ahead and get to your questions as well. Let's get back into some football, right? Because, like, you know what? Let's actually wait. We'll get into some football in the top of the hour. What we're gonna do here is that we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the Mighty Sports Podcast. While we take our break, actually, while we take our break, the people in Podbean, you're probably going to end up losing us, and you'll probably end up losing us before that. So I'm going to take this opportunity to switch out your feed, right? Everybody else, right? You will hear. Mighty Sports Podcast. I'm still your host, one only talent, Omar Taylor. Thank you guys for listening, wherever you may be listening from. Don't forget, wherever you're listening from, please make sure that you go ahead, you like, you subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Head to YouTube, head to Twitch, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that little bing bong every time that we go on. Don't be stingy either. If you're listening, make sure you share. Right, go ahead and share the podcast. Remember, sharing is caring. And it could be a group activity. You can share with other people that you know, or you can listen to other people that you know, and then you can interact and start talking in the comments. You're gonna talk about me like I can't see what you're talking about. You know what I mean? I went for the other one. That's good too. Alrighty, Stella, Rosa. I guess I'm about to have my third glass of wine. So let's get back into it, right? We got some football going on right now. We still got the Monday night football. Today's Monday, right? Yeah. We still got the Monday night football game going on right now to wrap up what's been a crazy week 3. A week 3 where we saw the undefeated Dolphins and the undefeated Bills take on each other, and the Miami Dolphins eke out a 2-point victory after their quarterback caught a concussion and came back into the game. Right? It has been crazy. This is now twice. They've won 2 close games that nobody saw them winning. One against Baltimore, now one against Buffalo. And honestly, Dolphins fans are out here talking about, yo, like we should be the number one team. When the power rankings come out, we should be the number one team in the league. And I was like, I don't know. I can see them putting teams like still Philly ahead of you, and maybe even 1 or 2 2-1 teams, depending on how they look. But they're definitely gonna have to break top if they weren't in the top 5 before. I can definitely see when these power rankings come out that Miami is now in the top 5. Like that is very much something like I can see, and I'll be a little surprised if they're not. And if they're not in the top 5, they better be in the top 7. It's gonna be hard pressed for them to be one of only, depending on how this game goes tonight, right? One of only 2 to possibly 3 teams in the league that are undefeated. Now, if there's 3 teams in the league that's undefeated, I can see how they're. Ooh, broke that up quickly. 4th and 4. I can see why the Dolphins may fall, because also if the Giants end up being 3-0, I'm not believing that the Giants are one of the top 3 teams in the league either. Like, you gonna have to show me some more, homie. I'm sorry. Like we don't believe you. We need more people. But this game is going on. It's tied 13-13 right now. We're in the 4th quarter. About 10.5 minutes left to go in the game. 4th and 4. Dallas has the ball. They're not going to punt it, it looks like. They're going to go for it. Or maybe they're trying to force an offsides. Don't know, but look, now a timeout happened. All right. And listen. Speaking of football, right? We got some news in football today, right? We got some real good news in football today. I'm talking about some breaking news in football that should make a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot of people happy. And that is the fact that it sounds like Rihanna, that sounds like, but Rihanna is going to be the halftime performer for the Super Bowl. I don't know who it was before, but I think I heard about it earlier, and I remember it being somebody whack that I completely wrote off in my head. And I was like, I guess I won't be paying attention to this Super Bowl at all, halftime at all. Ooh, did he hold on? Did he get it? You make them measure that one. Let's see where they gave him the spot at. Oh no, I don't know. They gave him the first. Okay, they snapped that ball before it could be reviewed. Boy, don't you? This game is good. I'm telling you, this game has been spicy this whole entire day. All right, and it's been rough. I'm glad it's a close game, one, right? So that both teams still look competitive. But this is also one of those days I'm really glad I'm watching this game with no value. This is one of those days I'm really happy I don't have the commentators influencing on how I'm paying attention to this game with their own specific narrative or whatever narrative that they're coming in here with, whatever notes they're coming in with. It's just, ooh, CeeDee Lamb doing his best Des Bryant impersonation. Lucky they didn't call that a fumble. I was reaching for the hashtag. If he had stretched out, he may have gotten that. But who knows what would have happened then? 1 yard, 1st and goal, 1 yard line. I'll let you know when they scored a touchdown. And they scored a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, a nice little one-hander, a little toe tap, and Dak Prescott on the sideline fully involved, headset on, cheering his team, talking to teammates, involved in plays. I don't understand. Remember what we said about Derrick Rose earlier? I don't understand. Or maybe it's different for quarterbacks and basketball players. Or maybe it's different for football players, basketball players. Maybe it's different than quarterbacks and point guards. But I'm telling you, I've seen players in the NBA that's done this. So it could just be what Derrick Rose finds acceptable as a leadership style, which I can't say I fully agree with. Who was that? Carson Wentz? No, that's... Oh, never mind. I forget who that is. I really forget what his name is, but I know who that is. That's not Carson Wentz. So speaking of winning, right? Speaking of winning, we're talking about Rihanna's going to do the halftime show. And like I said, I don't know who the halftime show is going to do before, but she's going to get it now. And again, I don't know if you guys realize this. This is the influence of Jay-Z being involved with the NFL. That you very quickly saw the kind of buzz that the halftime show announcement has gotten from the moment it was called. Speaking of Des Bryant, to now, it's gotten no buzz. I'm telling you, like I saw it initially, and I was like, "Who are these guys?" I think I knew who they were, but I'm not. This doesn't move me. I'm not excited to see this. I don't even think it was like an iconic band in their genre or popular band in their genre. It was just I could be talking up my ass because I don't recognize them. I was just like, yeah. But now you put Rihanna in there, and you realize all of a sudden, like, there's a pop now. There's not just a pop. There's a singer pop. There's a lingerie pop. There's a makeup pop. You understand the different worlds that she draws in to bring eyes on her performing. It isn't just women who love the halftime show, and they're there for the majority of that, right? But it isn't just women. It isn't just black people. It isn't just little girls. It isn't just islanders. It's people that love her lingerie, people that love her makeup, people that love her music, people that love her art. All of it. You understand? She is dragging in at least bare minimum. I just mentioned 7 different demographics of interest, of clicks, of likes, of engagements. And every time, you understand? She said nothing. She literally held up a ball in her hand. And that damn near broke the internet. Immediately, everybody was like, oh shit, she's doing a halftime show. Everybody realized it. So listen, again, you can see the influence that Jay-Z has, right? And being involved with the NFL, that you see them getting music, at least that would move popular culture. And that's the thing I think people are missing, right? Is that it's music that moves all around popular culture. Rihanna is one of the biggest popular artists in the world. And I mentioned all of the products and the things that people will know her for. Well, those things have made her a billionaire. Yeah. Y'all forget. Yeah, she's one of the billies in the world. So she ain't doing the halftime show for money. Whatever pay that they have, hey, it's over more money than you didn't have before. It could be they spending money for a night in New York, But overall, like, she's winning. This decision means the NFL is winning. Jay-Z is winning. It keeps heat up for Roger Goodell. He's winning. As you can see now, Roger Goodell now in like his second term, right? That he's doing a lot of delegating. Like, you know what? You handle entertainment and shit, so I don't have to keep worrying about taking the hit when these halftime shows are bad. Here, you handle the punishment and shit, so I don't got to keep taking the hit every time that we got to discipline a player. I'm good. It may be the wise thing to do as he sits up as more of a president, and an overseer, that he delegates all these, like he has little cabinets for all these little things. Let them run it. And he just kind of gives their stamp of approval. Yeah, I like that. Run it. The hoes gonna love this. Oh, speaking of, I can't wait to this art show coming up. I can't wait for this art show coming up. I have a fit for fits. I have a fit to catch the eye, and I got a new pair of kicks, like coming. Woo! Y'all just wait. Y'all just wait. But what am I talking about? What am I talking about? This art show? I think you guys may have heard me talk about this art show before. What we're talking about is In Art We Lust 3, which is an immense female-driven art showcase benefiting the National Breast Cancer Foundation. All right. In Art We Lust 3 represents the talents of the local South Florida artists. You will be able to enjoy a night of live musicians, DJs, raffles, vendors, live body art, and more. Come meet some of South Florida's most brilliant creative minds and take home some beautiful work of art, all for a great cause. Right. So if you guys are looking to get your tickets, you can go to thecenterscs.com. Right. Use promo code ART22 and you'll be able to purchase yourselves tickets before the show. Now they're still having pre-sale. If I'm not mistaken, pre-sale tickets are still just a little bit under $25. But wait, I have more. The Mighty Sports Podcast. We're doing a raffle for this. thecentercs.com and use the promo code ART22. You'll be able to get the tickets yourself. Well, trust me, try to win. Try to win. It'll be worth it. Because also we'll be giving a portion of the proceeds over to their breast cancer fundraising as well too. So proceeds will be going to the breast cancer foundation as well to help them out with their fundraiser. Speaking of winning, did you guys know that Floyd Mayweather is still fighting? Speaking of, don't ask me how that statement remind me that I had a drink back there. Something completely different happened. But did you guys know that Floyd Mayweather was still fighting? Yes, folks. Floyd Mayweather is, last week we talked about everybody that was scheduled to fight. I think we talked about who was on here. We had Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford, Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul, Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. We have Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore. I think that rematch is coming up like December 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So December 5th is Marshawn. Listen, I got that date circled too. Right? Anderson Silva, Jake Paul, October 29th. So that's in 3 days. That's 3 days from now. Roman Reigns and Logan Paul, that's November 5th. Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore, that's December 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And then also, we have Floyd Mayweather having a fight in Dubai, taking on Deji on November 3rd. Floyd Mayweather just had a fight in Japan. Right? His second fight in Japan. He just had a fight in Japan. And buy one Big Mac, get one for $1. Stop telling me stuff like this. I am in full fat boy mode right now. But he just made $20 million to beat up some dude named Makuri Asakura, who apparently is supposed to be a respectable dude over there. I didn't get a chance to finish getting his numbers. Right? But this is supposed to be, oh my God, this is even a better part. I told you $20 million, right? It's an exhibition fight. So all these guys he's fighting is never gonna go against his record. I guess people now just want to pay it, right? Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, now you see Floyd Mayweather in there. They found it to still make money in exhibition fights. They found a place for it. Jake Paul never has to have a professional fight ever in his life. As long as he can find a way to, damn, this game just got blown open quickly. As long as he can find a way to keep making money off of exhibition fights. Mike Tyson out here making money off exhibition fights. We saw Roy Jones Jr. exhibition fight. We saw Adrian Peterson take on Le'Veon Bell exhibition fights. Making money. It sounds like Conor McGregor may come into may do another boxing match, another exhibition fight, maybe with Floyd Mayweather. Manny Pacquiao wants an invitation to make some of this exhibition money because he just saw Floyd Mayweather get paid $20 million to fight for 2 rounds. And the fight was scheduled for 3. He got paid $20 million for a scheduled 3-round exhibition fight in Japan. And then, what's this? In less than 45 days, he's going to have another fight in Dubai. And granted, he's not going to do it in the second round. In the first round, it was kind of lackluster. Dude caught a couple body blows on him, right? I think he touched Mayweather a couple times, right? Felt big about himself, taunted him a little bit. Mayweather was like, oh, okay. You trying, he hit him with the great white hype shit. You know what I mean? Oh, you trying to embarrass me. Bloop. Right before the end of the second round, he's knocked out, can't get back out. 20 million easy. Another authorized robbery. He's turning like the goddamn piper over there. You know what I mean? Like the real piper. Let's not use piper anymore. Peter Pan, not Peter Pan. Robin Hood. There we go. Sorry, I said piper. Next thing you know, I'm over here. Got the step song going on in my head, and Daniel Jones gets sacked, and things aren't looking good. Wait, that's not what we wanted. But he did twist him around and throw him to the ground to get that sack. Wait a minute, is that what that flag is about? It can't be. This has to be hope. Personal foul, face mask, defense. Okay, he may he may have just gotten away with that, but listen, it was real close. Another.
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah, there we go. He caught number 13 in the face mask on an eye, so he caught one of the receivers. They got lucky. They really did. They got lucky on that one. Now, funny thing, right? And we're probably gonna have to bring them back as a sponsor, right? That his fights are on somebody that we used to have as a sponsor for the show. So we're not gonna talk about where you can find his fights at quite yet until we can guarantee that we bring them back as an affiliate. All right. Now, Floyd Mayweather gets to do these exhibition fights, right? And it's a win-win. At 45, he's still better than the average person, right? He's still better than the above average fighter. At this point in time, he doesn't, even if he happens to get caught with a good punch, he doesn't have to worry about it going on his record. And if he did get caught with a good punch, it will probably lead to a bigger payday for the rematch. And he's already making $20 million to have 3-round fights. Imagine if they have to pay him for 12 rounds. God damn. Quick math. I just quadrupled them. I was like, all right now. Even though quadrupling, is less than what it is. All right now. Actually, no, it's exactly what it is. So just imagine. So he's out there having his fun, and then he's in Dubai, probably living and being treated like a king. He is winning on all fronts. Speaking of winning, have you guys seen what Philly has been doing? We talked about all these other undefeated teams, right? And it looks like the Giants are not going to be one of those teams to remain undefeated after this game. They're going to end up losing to their division rival, the Cowboys, and both of these teams look like they're going to both of these teams are going to have a record of 2-1, which is only going to leave 2 undefeated teams in the league. That is the Philadelphia Eagles and the people from Florida, Miami, Florida. Miami Gardens, Florida. Like, you guys don't understand. When they say the Miami Dolphins, right? They're just shortening it because they don't want to say the Miami Gardens Dolphins. But also, the reason why I don't make fun of them so much about... What the hell are you doing, Daniel?
Damn, Daniel.
Like, what is going on over here? We got another flag on the play. I don't know if you guys know, but right now, Jalen Hurts has some of the best numbers in the league. S.period. Carter. This week alone, he was again one of the top 5 producers in the league. Throwing for exactly 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. Longest pass being for that was right there in face this whole entire time. Right? Longest pass being for 45, but not just the 340 yards, right? In the 24-8 blowout over the Washington Commodes. But there's also the passer rating of 123.5, which led all quarterbacks last week. Better than Tom Brady, better than Aaron Rodgers, who both played each other. And Tom Brady threw his hissy fit again, which only could mean that he lost. You know what he does when he throws a tantrum. This had the Giants make this kick. It's a one possession game with about 3 minutes left. It looks like they may have hit the kicker. Let's see what happens here. How they call this? No call. That's how they call it. The only two individuals he was behind last week in passing was Josh Allen, who put up 400 yards, and then our boy, famous Jameis Winston. And who had 350. Tons of quarterbacks put up over 300 yards. You had Derek Carr with 303, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, surprisingly, Geno Smith. Mac Jones was the top 5 producer as a quarterback last week with his 321-yard performance and 3 interceptions and no touchdowns. That's the reason why New England ultimately ended up losing that game, as Baltimore ended up blowing them out so they could continue their reign. Joe Flacco has been one of the better quarterbacks for the majority of the season. Last week, didn't look so good. We may have lost Garrett Wilson for some time, depending on the kind of injury that he suffered in that game. He kind of left early and didn't see much action after that. Philly destroyed Washington 24-28. Utterly destroyed. Crumbled them. Now, this was an interesting game because Philly did all of their scoring in the second quarter. All of the scoring they were going to need was done in the second quarter. It was basically 4 quarters of a blowout until Washington put up 8 points in the fourth. This could have been a blowout. A complete 0. Shutout is what I meant to say. Jalen Hurts, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. He runs for 20 yards on 9 attempts. Nothing crazy there. No touchdowns there. But gets it to all of his receivers. Devontae Smith gets a touchdown. A.J. Brown gets a touchdown. Dallas Goedert gets a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 169 yards on his 8 receptions. We saw some other key performers, too, from last week, right? A lot of the young guys, while you've seen some of these young guys starting to take turns in a way, it seems like, right, in their breakout weeks. We saw Jared Wilson have his breakout week last week. This week, we would see guys like Chris Olave have their breakout. 9 receptions, 147 yards. No touchdowns, though, but 9 receptions, 147 yards. Puts him in the top 5 for wide receiver performers last week when it comes to yards. Yes, top 5 with 147. He was not number 1. Marquise Brown saw himself a good night, 140 yards. We saw Devontae Parker put up 156. Mac Hollins, right from Las Vegas, he ended up putting 158, and then Devontae Smith from Philly led all of them with that 169. Like he was the true winner of it all. And he had a touchdown in there. Let's see, how many multiple, it looked like a lot of guys had multiple, we were in witness of multiple touchdown receivers this week. And a couple of them for when it came to our running backs. So Khalil Herbert with 2 touchdowns. Khalil Herbert from Chicago. We saw Jamal Williams from Detroit with 2 touchdowns. Hurt me because I had Swift, and Swift didn't do much work, and now he may be out injured. Jonathan Taylor was held in check. I don't know if he was held in check or if Carson Wentz was held in check or whoever their quarterback is now. Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought the kicker was in for Chase. Is that his name? Chase Young? Chris Chase? Who's the quarterback right now for the Cowboys? But I feel like his name has a Chase in there. It's 2nd and 7. So they're definitely not kicking this. I really thought it was the kicker in it. Whoever the quarterback is right now, I don't know why he looks like Carson Wentz from some angles. Right? 9-0 versus the Giants with Dak Prescott. 0-1 without him since 2017. That is the Dallas Cowboys records when it comes to playing the Giants, and Ezekiel Elliott gets himself a first down as he breaks a 10-yard run. Not Ezekiel Elliott, Scott Pollard, my bad. I don't think his name is Scott. I think Scott Pollard is a basketball player. Seriously, and I've been calling this guy Scott Pollard all night. I really think Scott Pollard is a basketball player. Please forgive me. I know not what I says. That's only read only? Interesting. Jalen Hurts every single week impresses me more and more. But you know what? Let's give a big up to the Eagles organization because they did what most organizations don't do when they have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. They don't fully complete building out the team around them, right? And I find it odd, right? And I'm comparing it to the Michael Vicks, the Cam Newtons, and I'm missing one more, Lamar Jackson, right? I compare it to teams like that, where it seems like you allow yourself massive deficiencies because your guy is athletic, so you don't award him the same amount of protection or targets that lesser mobile quarterbacks would receive. And I've never heard a mobile quarterback say, man, look at that team with no protection. I could really cook if I had that kind of protection. No. You always hear them look at the teams that guys have protection like, man, imagine what I could do if I had that kind of protection. Because you could never get to them. Not only would they have all the time in the world, like the lesser mobile quarterbacks will have, to pass the ball. Now, when that one guy breaks through and that lesser mobile quarterback is normally able just to kind of like brush him off of his shoulder a little bit, these quarterbacks are able to take it for 15, 20, and 30. I'm just saying. Or these quarterbacks can really roll out and get that ball going on the move. So, Jalen Hurts, he is looking as impressive as any quarterback can at this time. But also, like I said, big shout out to what his team has done to making sure that they build out the roster around him. Offensive line, wide receivers, running game, defense. Philadelphia Eagles have one of the more complete teams in the league, which is probably why they have been an early favorite on this podcast. Remember my co-host KJ, he got Philly and San Fran making the Super Bowl. I told you guys last week at Sharkies, a couple weeks ago at Sharkies, I had Philly and Baltimore. Now, understand, and I do have to add a disclaimer on there. When I pick teams like Philly and Baltimore to make it, right? That is understanding that the true on favorites are Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Right? And this is so even when I pick favorites like this, is more about who do I believe is going to be. Is like the question to me is like, if you don't think that Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are going to make the Super Bowl, who would be the next two teams in line? That's how I decide. Like, so because when you have two dominant favorites, it's like asking during the years of LeBron James on Cleveland and when he was going up against Golden State for like 4 years straight, and people are asking, "Oh, who do you think is going to be in the championship game?" Well, Cleveland and Golden State. This is boring for 4 years, but you would get the answers about other teams because it's more about, you know what? These are teams on the rise, And also, if these guys don't make it, these will be the other teams that I think can. And I know I'm overlooking Buffalo, as everybody has picked Buffalo, but that's the reason why I'm specifically not picking Buffalo, because everybody has put Buffalo in their back pocket. I'm gonna run with them dirty birds, not the dirty birds. I'm gonna run the Ravens, nevermore. Like I want to see how they do it, and they're starting off good. Outside of a fourth quarter collapse that allowed for one of the most miraculous comebacks in NFL history, right, to take place, where Tua got a tongue twister, came back and beat the Baltimore Ravens. We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens being 3-0, and possibly the Dolphins being 1-2. I know you say, but wait, they just beat the last team. Yeah, they don't beat Buffalo if they don't beat Baltimore. I know it's odd to say, I know it's odd, but they don't have, to me, the confidence and that extra oomph, that extra bite, that extra nasty, that extra spice to beat. But listen, I know you're like, oh, how did you say that? Because I can. And sometimes I like to think outside the box. I think my niece is finally starting to understand outside the box. I'll never forget the day I told her to think outside the box. And she was like, I don't want to think outside the box. It's safe in the box. I was like, yo, like, you know what? You are right. It is safe in the box. But that's also what makes the box boring. You know what I mean? Like at that level. Like when you get to my age, you know what I mean? Like, listen, there's not too many, never mind. Never mind. Like, that's a weird transition, basically, before I was just involved in this conversation. Let's move on. So, like I said, outside of the Giants right now having their matchup, outside of Buffalo coming out to Miami and damn near catching the heat stroke, man, it is very. I see ABC7 popping up again. It is very interesting, right? How the Dolphins Stadium is set up. I never really noticed it until Tua told the whole entire world. Until Tua dry snitched on the architect. Oh, Daniel Jones steps up, throws one, gets the first down. Boy, he was almost caught back there on the 2-yard line. Let's see. The Giants are down by 7 points. They're on the 20. Let's see if they can march themselves downfield, all 2-minute drills, and get this off. Ooh, that was a dangerous throw. That was almost picked off. Listen, it wasn't just these games. It wasn't just these games I mentioned that were big this week. We also had like the game of the bees, right? Tampa Bay versus Green Bay, game of the Bays, right? Like I guess the old man bowl, the matchup that most people really wanted to see almost every single year in the playoffs. It's just that Aaron Rodgers would always get knocked out by one of these other fugazi guys. One year at San Francisco, another year is whoever, another year is this, and it's just regret after regrets after regrets after regrets. But they still had a, I don't want to say they had a good game. I picked Green Bay to win this game. This game, you can see, right? Tampa Bay didn't have a lot of their weapons, and you can see the frustration start to pile up as his targets were diminished. Daniel Jones throws the ball that we thought he would.
Damn, Daniel! You turned over the ball again, Daniel.
Daniel Jones looking like primetime Daniel. Now, they may... Damn, somebody hurt themselves. Oh, no. Who was that? Sterling Shepard is down. Okay. I don't want to say that's good. I just thought it was Saquon. That's why I was like, oh, no. Now, this may have hit the ground. Let's see what happens in this review. Okay, we see... What the fuck? Nope. Wait. I don't know. That's going to be close. Wait. Did Daniel Jones... Wait. Was this a trick play? Was Daniel Jones out? Wait, Daniel Jones number 13, right? Was Daniel Jones out running a route? Okay, this is going to be close because it looks like it hit his hand and it bounced up. Okay, that may not have touched the ground. That may have hit his hand and bounced up. But, okay. Yep, definitely hit his hand and bounced up. You can see it. There's no ground involved in that one. Sterling Shepard. Is he being carted off? So entire all of his teammates is giving him high five. I don't know what happened there, but it looks like they tried to trick play. Look, I don't know. Sterling Shepard was the quarterback on that play. I don't know what happened there, but he threw an interception, and I'm still gonna blame Daniel Jones for that interception because if Daniel Jones is, I am not a wide receiver. I'm a quarterback's ass. Doesn't slip on that route. That doesn't become an easy pick six because he was about to be wide open. But it was gonna make his. But that was funny. They were gonna make his quarterback take that hit. Yo, they were setting Daniel Jones up for that hit. He was gonna earn every bit of whatever future money he may be entitled to. Ooh, almost forgot I had this here. Let's see. Sterling Shepard. Okay, Sterling Shepard is not the quarterback. He's just running. Oh, damn. Sorry. Because when you... As I'm watching it, and I'm just seeing him run and just run normally. Wasn't running super fast. Started slowing down. And then all of a sudden, he's pulled, like you see him snatch up that knee. See? His knee hurt. And he grabbed his knee or his leg. You didn't see his knee hurt and him grab his head. Because people do not instinctively grab other parts of their body first. When they have pain or a shock to a different part. No, you get a shock to your back, you grab your back. You arch your back. Now, after being down 10 seconds, you may think to yourself, oh my God, not again, this shit is over. The fuck? But you don't go down. Boom. And then get up like, oh, it was my back. Yo, they really held him up like Weekend at Bernie's. They really had him there. Is there a fight going on now at the end of this game? Like it. Start swinging. Get rough. Come on. Get nasty. Get spicy. I want this rivalry to get intense. I want to go to Dallas and whoop that ass. And be disrespectful about it. They still beefing. Number 53. Watch. Let me see if number 53 ends up hitting somebody. I still see him jaw jacking the most. They pulling him back. They pulling 53 back. CeeDee Lamb already got his phone. Now you're starting to see some players from both sides starting to talk peacefully and shake it out. Daniel Jones looked like an upset vacuum salesman. Why does he look like a vacuum salesman? Like, well, shucks, man. Like, all I can say that the sucking power on this one will be something even your husband will enjoy. Oh man. Let's talk about this Green Bay match. Green Bay improves to 2-1, and Tampa Bay falls to 2-1. Right? Tampa Bay, he doesn't. This is one of those games that Tampa Bay just really didn't have enough weapons. That was the key determining factor of me picking against Tampa and me picking against Tom Brady. He just didn't have weapons. We know about the suspension that Mike Evans was serving because of his fight with Marshawn Lattimore, right? That's the reason why we want to see another rematch because of the incident. Every time they see each other, it's on site. They just need one little thing. Like, let's say they're standing beside each other and the wind blows really hard, but it happens to go into one of their ear. And they will think, if the other person's in the area, they're going to think that person tried to tickle their ear, and next thing you know, they're throwing fists. It's on site when it comes to those two. It's good. It's almost like Richard Sherman and Robert Crabtree. It's like when they play each other, you want to see it. I just wish that Marshall Lattimore was out here snatching his chain up, like, give me it. Like, that's the only thing I wish they were doing. I wish they were still snatching chains. You remember? Oh my God. I know it was in good faith, but the only thing that you could have done, which would have been slightly less worse, which probably would have got you talked about a little bit, right? But it would have been worse because it didn't change the results, right? Would have been if Michael Crabtree didn't wear his chain that one time when he played against Hakeem Talib or Talib Kweli. I always forget how his name is. Because remember, they had an incident before then where he had snatched his chain, I think, twice before then, right? Reached up, yank, snatched it. Yo, I got his chain. After intercepting a ball that's supposed to go to him, after making a good tackle or a good breakup, got in there and snatched his chain. Disrespectful, right? Well, during their third encounter, Michael Crabtree decides that, you know what? I'm not going to give him opportunity to snatch my chain again. I am going to tape it to my chest so that it is not hanging out so that he can't snatch it. But what he failed to realize, if somebody's looking to snatch your chain, they're searching to snatch your chain. Just because it's out here don't mean anything. They go by the neck. So next thing you know, what happens, they match up against each other and he catches him. Again, snatches his chain. And I know that Talib wasn't the one that said this is what happens when you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, but this is just how they treated Crabtree. Those receivers like that, those backs that was disrespectful like that and about that life, right? Of just getting in opponents' heads. When they snatched it for the third time, and he was after, yo, this motherfucker tried to tape it into his chest. I even got his ears and everything. That made it worse. You were better off leaving your chain in your bag, like, yo, I'm not gonna let him break another chain of mine. I'm not gonna let him go get away with it, because he's basically robbing you for your chain every football game. He ain't just snatching your rope and what. He's robbing you for your chain. It's a different on-site kind of people like, yo, you know what? I know every time I see this Herb, he got a new piece of jewelry out. Like, let me snatch it up real quick. You would better just leave it at home. But now you're gonna tape it to your chest. Not only did you get your chain snatched for a third time, but now you got your little bit of chest hair snatched along with it, along with whatever skin grafts. Like, you literally, like, you understand? Before he was just snatching your soul, now he's actually snatching body parts. So, like, that's the kind of on-siteness that's happening here in with Tampa Bay. So, because of that incident, right, with Mike Evans, I know you guys forgot, like, oh my God, that's right, that's what we're talking about. Because of that incident with Mike Evans, right, and Marshawn Lattimore, Mike Evans was out for this game. But it wasn't just Mike Evans out for this game. Chris Godwin was also out for this game. There's another wide receiver, Julio Jones. Was Julio Jones on this team? I think so. Julio Jones is also out for this team. So basically, his whole entire receiving core is Gage, Brait, Perryman, Fournette, Darden, Kyle Rudolph, Cole Beasley, Scott Miller. Listen, you may recognize names like Cole Beasley and Brashard Perriman. That's about it. Maybe Russell Gage. Obviously Leonard Fournette. But you understand, like, he doesn't have his big producers like he normally does. So I was skeptical coming into this game about Tampa Bay winning, on top of my natural hatred for Tom Brady. Green Bay didn't make it look good. Like, let's not act like they did anything spectacular. They both had about the same amount of yards, 271 for Tom Brady, I think 255 for what's his name? Aaron Rodgers. There we go. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception as well. No receiver had over 60 yards on his team. You had 57 for Cobb, Lazard for 45, Tanyan for 37, Davis for 26. This kind of thing I gets frustrated with guys like Aaron Rodgers. Having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback is a good thing when it comes to fantasy football. Having Aaron Rodgers wide receivers as your that's where things get tricky. And obviously he hasn't found his go-to guy quite yet. I feel like not only is Aaron Rodgers trying to figure out who his next go-to guy is, I feel like all of the rest of the NFL is from a defense standpoint, but also all fantasy football owners. We're all trying to figure out who's going to be his next weapon that he's going to force 15 attempts to and have that guy cook. Because the moment he finds those sets of reliable hands, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You know it's not a wrap so far? The incarceration of Brittany Griner. That is still going on. 221 days strong. They have incarcerated one of America's greatest athletes. One of America's great athletes. All right, let's phrase it that way, so I don't get too much controversy from you knuckleheads. All right, but one of America's great athletes, Brittany Griner, is still incarcerated. In case you guys may not know, Brittany Griner is an WNBA champion, 8-time All-Star, 2-time scoring leader, 8-time block leader, 4-time NBA first team, 3-time NBA second team, 3-time NBA first team all defense, 3-time NBA first team second team all defense. She's been, I forgot how many times she's been defensive player of the year. Did I have that written down? I don't have that written down yet. But we're talking about a lady that's been defensive player of the year, peak performer of the year. She was the most outstanding player in college. She was the high school player of the year. She's been basically a baller at every single level. And yes, she has currently been incarcerated in Russia for the last 221 days as they tried to leverage her so that they can try to free one of their arms dealers. I know a lot of you people try to say a lot of other shit behind it, but that's technically all it's about. They want to free one of their arms dealers, so they are holding one of our Americans hostage. It's as simple as that. See, what I always have to remind people, right? I always feel kind of otherwise about how she may have felt about the national anthem thing. One is just a song. Get over it. But 2, it's still almost like having a family, right? As siblings, you're allowed to fight amongst each other as much as you want and disagree and butt heads as much as you want. The moment from somebody outside the home fucks with you, you all band together and you fuck that person up. That's how this should be looked at. We get it internally. She may have said some stuff that you may disagree with. It's okay. Everybody has an opinion. It's the reason why not only were we all born with an opinion and we're all born with an asshole, it's also the reason why it was also in the goddamn laws of this country. And what part of the things that make this country so great is that you can utilize it however you like. You can use that to talk about the good stuff about this country, or you could talk about the injustices of this country. It's not like there are injustices to talk about. You know, some people disagree just because those injustices that this country has partaken in or has been witness to just hasn't affected you or your people so much so that you're like, you know what? I don't agree with what she said, but was she wrong? Because sometimes people agree with things that people say, and what the person was saying was right. You just disagree because you're just a disagreeable turd sometimes. And we all like to disagree, to be disagreeable turds sometimes. You call it. Let's flip the words. Make argument for argument's sake. Like we all do that sometimes. But like I said, let us argue internally and not let outside forces, right, hold our people hostage, right, so that they can leverage freeing some of their criminals. 'Cause that's what they want to do, is free one of their criminals, world criminals, one of their criminals that have committed crimes against the world. But yeah, that's who we're saying. Okay, it's okay that she is locked up. What I'm saying, like I said, if you're ever really and truly wishing and praying on somebody else's demise and downfall, or bad happenings, just because you kind of disagree with them, harm up for something they did harmlessly, you may want to check your energy. 221 days Brittany Griner has been incarcerated, wrongfully incarcerated, so that because Russia wants to use her so that he can leverage one of their arms dealers home. Let's again, for everybody that can do this, go ahead and just continue to keep on your thoughts and prayers, so that hopefully that she can return home safely. At this point, I don't think I think is beyond the realm of possibility. She's already spent more times than most soldiers spent deployed in one session. Let's just hope that she returns home safely, and at this point in time with as little physical and emotional damage as possible. We're coming down to the end of the show, folks. Don't forget to like, share, and follow the podcast. If you're listening now, if you're listening now, take the opportunity to share the podcast. Don't be stingy. Take the opportunity and share the podcast. Right? Share with others with what you find interesting, like you do everything else. If you're listening, if you haven't followed the page as of yet, if you haven't liked this episode, like and make sure you also subscribe as well. That way you hear the bing bong every time that we go on. This is always a blast on the Mighty Sports Podcast, and I am really grateful that you spent this time, whatever portion of time that you spent listening to me talk about your favorite sports topics. I want to leave you with a little bit of wisdom for today, but it kind of slips in my mind. But you know what? I think I have one for you guys as we get ready to leave here. Right? Just remember that life's a bitch and then you die. That's why we get high, because you never know when you're going to go. This is Talon, El Idolo, Deportivo Taylor of the Mighty Sports Podcast. And we are out of here.